is Ephesians 6:12 for our
Mhm.
struggle. And I like that. It was like for our struggle. You know, because when we think about, oh, we wrestle not, a lot of times when you think about wrestling, I don't know, for some reason I think more internally. Even though we know you can wrestle against people, but I don't know. I think more of it as an internal thing. And but for it to say it too, it's like for our struggle, it kind of confirms that it is an eternal thing. For our
Mhm.
struggle is not against flesh and blood, contending only with physical opponents, but against the
Mhm.
rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this present darkness, against
Right.
the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly or supernatural places. So, and I was one who had lots of offenses. I remember I
Mhm.
heard a sermon years ago, and the man of God who gave the sermon, he basically equated as fences. That's what he gave the terminology of fences, and he was
Mhm.
given a demonstration as a house. And
Right.
I personally was able to relate because I had lots of walls up. Every time
Mhm.
I went through an experience that was different from another experience, another wall went up. So by the time I had enough walls to have a house. So
Wow.
yeah, and it was because, that's how the enemy worked in my life, in that, oh, okay, because this person has done this, and it forms its own little room. I mean, it's trying to
Mhm.
it has its own room, and unless it's, so when something similar comes along, I can deal with it. But as soon as something new comes along, it's another room, it's another
Wow.
wall. And so I had so many things that was going on that, I had to like talk to God about it, because it was overwhelming, to be honest. It was overwhelming.
Mhm.
And these things didn't just like start, just come out of nowhere. It was years work from the time I was a child. Because
Wow.
my communication, I kept things to myself. And so because of that, you hold these things eternally. All these things is held internally to you. And so now
Mhm.
it doesn't bother you maybe until something happens, until something, as you said, trigger. When you said
Mhm.
about how it's a trigger, and that's when usually it becomes a problem to you, because there's
Right.
triggering it, because another situation is coming, or something similar, or something that
Mhm.
reminds you of it. And oftentimes it's the enemy who will remind you, because the enemy, now you enter into his playground. And
Right.
the only way I was able to get rid of these walls is through a lot of prayer,
Mhm.
a lot of time with God, because, as I said, these things were with me for years. So now when you think about, oh, okay, these are strongholds, they became
Mhm.
strongholds because they're with me for years. They didn't want to go anywhere. As
Right.
I kept them everywhere I went, they were there. There's only the new ones that may have popped up. And so I went to God, and I was seeking, um peace, and I was seeking, like, just escape from it, because I knew that it was a problem. When you have these walls up, it prevents you from even, from people really reaching you, and from you actually even be able to give to somebody else. You can't receive the love from somebody else, and you can't fully give the love to somebody else, because there's a blockage there. And so
Wow.
when you have these offenses, it's and to you it's justifiable.
Mhm.
um and sometimes you may even want to get over it, but it's something that's just, it's embedded, that is kind of hard to get rid of, which is why you have to go to God, because he's the only one who can help you remove it.